Oh yeah, welcome to How Can She Snap? This is the Marvel Snap podcast dedicated to the filthiest of casuals. I'm the kid, one half of the Super Snap Bros, here with my brother from the same mother, Mr.
NBD. Lego.
NBD, baby. We got a very special guest today. We have the Snap Judge League King of the Hill champion.
Woo!
We have
one of them.
A man who I would consider to be on the Mount Rushmore of Move. Always with unique deck ideas. Honestly, unreal decks. Great follow on Twitter. We have Mr. Benjamin Roller. Thank you so much, man, for coming to the pod. How you doing, man? How you doing? Tell people where they can find you.
All right. I can mostly be found on Twitter, honestly. I did my once a month stream for the first day of the season. Avengers versus X-Men. Did not hit Infinite. What are you going to do? I don't know. Probably try again off stream. But where else can you find me? I guess I uploaded something to YouTube this week. My first round of the Snap Judgments League tournament. I will not spoil how it went, but it was a dynamic and exciting match. And I think we're going to be talking about the deck I played later. So one could check that out if you really want more of this. But yeah, mostly Twitter.
Yeah, and I love it. It's Benjamin_Roller, you said, right?
That is correct. I did not say, but you did, and I appreciate it.
Okay, all right. Good. I know your Twitter handle. And obviously, with the dress code, awesome shades, man. Love it. Love to see it.
Oh, thank you. I borrowed them from my spouse.
Yeah, we channel our inner Corey Hart here. And you know what? I actually did have my my old glasses that I used to wear were from my wife. I stole her. She's like, "Where's my glasses?" I'm like, "They're mine now."
Yeah.
But
belong to Snap Bros.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we got a nice episode for everyone today. We're going to be talking about the new cards, Hope Summers and Pixie, how they're kind of shaping up the meta a little bit. We're going to actually go over the last week's patch kind of real quick to give a recap on, the cards that have changed, how they're affecting the meta, if they're still bad, if they're good, if they're better, that kind of thing. We're also going to talk about the top 5 move cards. Ben's gonna give his list and then make fun of me and No Big Deal because he knows what he's talking about and we don't. We're just
I don't know
out here
that.
guessing. And then we're gonna get into some AI art. And one thing I always friggin' forget to say, we changed our YouTube handle. It's just at How Can She Snap, so it's just easier for everyone. Follow, all that dumb shit, rate the podcast, all that stuff. But also, if people want to leave questions for us to answer, I think that'd be a cool segment. I hear other podcasts do that. I think it's fun. If you want to hear me and No Big Deal be idiots, do that. If not, great too. Let's get the kid. No Big Deal, Mr. Roller. How the heck are you guys this week?
How you doing, Ben?
Just out here shining. You know my style.
That's it. Glow up. What do you think about the meta this week, Ben?
I think I don't necessarily understand it very well. It's kind of difficult for me to assess these Pixie decks because I don't have the card, and I'm never sure what to do when playing against them. I don't know if their snaps are scary or not, that kind of thing. Yeah, I would say I'm not very plugged into the meta at this exact moment, and it shows by my ranking. I'm in the mid 80s right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right with you. I just hit 80 this morning, so I'm like 83. I haven't played too much. I've only played Jets Phoenix Force list. I'm not gonna lie. I think I played one Hope Summers list. I played a couple games to start, and then I'm just like, you know what? I just want to grind this Phoenix Force because I was having too much fun with it. But playing against Pixie, I mean, I have Pixie. I'm excited to play her in a little bit. But playing against Pixie, yeah, you're right. I don't know whether to be nervous or not. Honestly, I haven't lost to a Pixie deck doing something crazy yet. I've played against a lot of them. But I have, playing against a Pixie deck, I've lost to myself, not drawing any cards. And so just leaving. So yeah, that's happened a few times. But it seems like a really fun card. I don't know. No Big Deal's been grinding and He's been playing Pixie. What do you think of the card?
Well, only in the last couple days. I just got Pixie yesterday, so and I had a tournament match last night, so I didn't play any Pixie. I played Hope Thanos in the Snap Judge League tournament, and we'll get to that after the pod. we'll cast that match. But that was a fun one. But so I've only played with Hope Summers mostly. But late last night and today, I've played a good amount of Pixie. So I don't think you need to worry about it too much, kid. I don't think she's very good, but she's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I don't know. It's one of those cards that was so weird that like you don't know if it's gonna be just like fucking busted or if it's gonna be like, oh, this is kind of shit, but it'll be fun. You know what? They did nerf the card. They had like a closet nerf they didn't really tell anyone about.
It's a big
because
one. Yeah.
Not the 1/3 to the 2/1 because we knew about that. But now it's only cards that are in that started in your deck. It never had that text before.
Yeah, it was going to be busted with Thanos as originally data mined.
Yeah, oh yeah, because I don't mean no big deal. We're talking about. We're like, man, this is a Thanos card. Like we were sending like decks to each other like for like a week straight, like different iterations of different Thanos decks. We're like, well, how can we break this fucking card? And then it's like only started. Like, oh, okay, well.
I like her better this way, personally.
Yeah, no, it has to be this way. It would have been busted as fuck, I think, with Thanos.
We were theory crafting it too, and like we're theory crafting like Lockjaw stuff, and Lockjaw wasn't a 4-cost card at the time, and the fact that it's cards that started there means you can't like play Thor, put a Mjolnir in your deck for 0, and then play Pixie or something after, right? You can't like jam your deck with a bunch of zeros, have a Wasp in there too, throw a Wasp into the Lockjaw lane. So like turn 3 or turn 4, you go like Thor, Wasp, and then like turn 4 Pixie, right? And like and then switch up your zeros. And I thought like stuff like that, pull them out with Crystal or something stupid. I don't know. Maybe Adam Warlock gets jumbled around. Whatever. Hopium. But
maybe.
Yeah, all kinds of really cool combos that Thanos just kind of just cucked all over. So what can you do?
Yeah, so Pixie looks like a fun card, but not like a great card. It seems. What about Hope? Hope seems a little better. Hope seems like a pretty damn good card.
I haven't been able to make her work really well yet. I've got a new surfer list that I'm hoping. I really hate her name. I mean, I can't do anything about this established comic book character, but it makes it really hard to form sentences because hope is a great verb, also a noun.
Yeah.
And I use it a lot, and it just creates ambiguity and makes me sound like a total goofball saying the same word over and over again.
Yeah.
That's my main thought about Hope, is that I just wish I could change her name. Maybe she could be Sarah Summers. Maybe Brianna Summers.
Yeah.
Maybe, if we're doing like nouns, maybe Charity Summers. Maybe I don't know.
That's coming in the next patch. All right, we got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Glenn, get on it.
But yeah, I'm looking at her as a surfer card, possibly as the move ramp card. I think some other people are also exploring that avenue, but yeah, I don't entirely know what to make of her just yet. Hardly seems settled or solved to me personally, but I'm glad people seem to be enjoying her.
Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely not settled or solved yet, but I do like seeing a resurgence right now of like a little ramp in the kind of like silky smooth little movers kind of type of deck. I see that kind of coming back, which is nice. I kind of miss that deck being somewhat relevant and, able to compete. Cause like, with all the Hela and Thanos that we just went through, it's like, that can't compete with power with those decks. But now like you ramp stuff up, you get, Vision with Elsa. I don't know. I've seen some cool stuff. You're getting early Magneto out, that kind of thing. I don't know. It seems cool in that kind of deck.
The way people seem to be attacking that, like the most degenerate way, is playing Shuri Kitty. So these Shuri Kitty decks have been like pretty decent anyway, right? Like it's not a bad deck, and you put Hope and Elsa in the same lane, and you just start procking, Nightcrawler, Vision, Jeff, all these cards just go in the same lane, and you get to ramp a ton in this deck, right? So then you'll easily be able to play Shuri Kitty in the same turn. Because you just have all this like excess energy. You might be able to throw a Nightcrawler down too, like just fuck around and find out. So, like you have so much energy. I've played around a little bit with it. I think Cozy just put out a Shuri Kitty video too. So that was like, oh, okay. Now I started running into like mirrors. I'm like, what's happening? I check YouTube. Of course, Cozy uploaded a Shared Kitty video. Here we go.
That'll do
So
it.
that's where he was using it. But he didn't have Red Skull in his. I mean, I had Red Skull. I mean, it's the Old Faithful. I don't know. But I think his idea was you ramp to 6, you throw like a Magneto or something on there. It's a 24 task that, it's also Magneto, bring stuff into the Hope lane with a 24 power Magneto. Like, it's pretty good. And just the usual just kitty Taskmaster on the last turn. So that's what people seem to be doing with the little mover stuff. I played her a lot in Thanos this week. That's how that's mostly what I've been playing, just because, like I said, I had a match last night with Hope Thanos, and she's quite good in there. You play either Psylocke or Time Stone on 2, and then turn 3 is Hope plus a stone. That's like your snap condition, basically. And then once you're turn 4, you're sitting there with 5 energy, and you're off to the races. You play a Vision on your Hope and just start crushing. So it's really, really good. But I'll probably just like stop playing Thanos now for the rest of the season. I'm just kind of whatever. I don't want to be that guy. So I'm just not gonna do it.
You should be whatever kind of guy you feel like being.
Yeah.
You play your broken Call Obsidian Thanos stacks with Hope Summers, and be a meta degenerate. That's fine.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
If it sparks joy, crushing dreams in that particular style, do your thing.
Exactly. I mean, I'm a Galactus enjoyer and a Junk enjoyer. I like filling people's lanes up and crushing them that way. So, I
haven't played the Thanos since first week of Blob. The first week of Blob, that's all I played. That was a good time. 80 power blobs, and we're back. We're back, baby. Actually, Blob's still a sick card, by the way.
People like you.
To be fair, he was hyped for Blob since like September when they announced it.
I was one of the few I got right like months in advance.
You're a founding member of the Fred Dukes fan club.
Yeah, he talked about it every week. I'm like, man, dude, relax. Like,
I
don't know. He was like, that was his most hyped card for the month was Blob. I'm like, really, Blob? Like, there seemed like other good cards.
You remember Firestar, Ben? You remember the card Firestar?
I do remember Firestar.
Yeah. I was more hyped for Blob.
Would this be, since we're talking about move stuff this episode, can I pitch my alternate rework for Blob that I was really hoping would be his thing?
Hell yeah.
I wanted him to be like, not an anti-move card like anti-move tech, but like the anti-move card, like he's obviously got to have that line of text, Blob cannot be moved. That's like his thing. But I wanted him to gain power every time he would be moved. So like you'd Iron Fist him, and like bounces off of him. Doesn't matter. He stays exactly where you put him, but like he gets like +4 or something. Like I don't know. Something like a vulture, except he stands still for the whole game. I don't know. That was just what I thought would be cool. And in fact, I think it would be much cooler than the 640 asshole that we got. But I mean, he's reasonable now, but I was awfully resentful at the time when I saw like such an opportunity for a fun sideways move card. But that's just my pet idea.
I like that.
What about if he's a static card and can't be moved, but when things move into his lane, he absorbs them and like gains extra power. Like he doubles their power or something. Like you put like a I don't know, like a 5 power or something in there, and he gains like 10 or something.
Dude, it's all right.
Funny.
Honestly, even like Hercules' design, I felt would have been a better fit for him. But I don't like his power isn't that he eats stuff. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something confusing and nonsensical about it is my feeling.
No, I agree. I do love his animation though. I think it's one of the funniest ones in the game.
It is. It is pretty neat.
His and Chattiator when Chattiator misses and swears. I laugh every time. Yeah. And then what was I gonna say? I forget. But yeah, Blob's great.
I want to say too, because like pre-pod, Ben was talking about some discard. Last week I was on here just being all emo, sad boys, about how I was trying to play discard like for 2 weeks straight since Corvus came out. I've just been playing discard nonstop, and just been getting absolutely bodied by pre-patch Thanos with Lockjaw and just losing by 5 power every game. And I was real sad about it. But since the OTA, I feel like discard's like in a really good spot right now. Like this card feels like just like a legit like top deck right now. I mean, I don't know if that's crazy to say, but
I mean,
it like
Might
feels
be.
awesome.
It's what I played most during my ladder climb, and it's got the deck I was using has a 64% for me over 70 games or so.
Mhm.
I don't know. It might be discards moment. It's possible I'm doing it wrong, or maybe those numbers are. I mean, those numbers aren't bad. They just feel bad compared to other numbers sometimes. I don't know.
No,
But
that's
yeah,
sick.
You were expecting to go to the moon.
a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
No, I think it's good. I think it's really good. Yeah, discard is in a decent spot, I would say. Even like KM and Lambie putting up lists and like, oh, hey, this is competing at the top levels.
They're playing it
Um,
like Cam Best playing a Modok discard is like crazy. Like it's not. I never expected to see the day. I don't think he's ever played that stuff.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people play discard. Like the hipster versions, like Jimmy Dickens at the top of the ladder.
Jimmy
Dara
Dickskin?
always played Jimmy Dickens.
Oh, I was doing a letter Kenny, I think, but
Oh,
Jiminy Cricket. He does the Wong Modok. You ever see that list?
don't wait. The one with Gambit.
Yeah. Gambit, Wong, Modok. That one
Helicarrier.
has Helicarrier collector. So you might not like it.
The original Helicarrier list, I think he kind of popularized it at
Yeah,
high
it was
ladder.
pre Helicarrier buff actually.
Huh.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've run into it.
yeah, and then
Or maybe I
Dara,
have.
yeah, Dara plays at the high infinite too with discard a lot too. So I don't know, it seems pretty good. Ben, why don't we go into your deck actually? Why don't you take us through your deck? Because
All
this
right.
is a really really interesting deck. Freak Gasoline Fight Accident. I love that name. It's hilarious, man.
Just because
First of all, how'd you come up with the name?
Well, let me drag up the original
All right,
quote because I don't want to get it wrong.
all right.
But
I love it.
it comes from Derek Zoolander's You Googly for his friends Brint and Mikas.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember the gas scene, the gas fight scene for sure.
Yeah, the previous this is the spiritual successor to my Orange Mocha Frappuccino deck, and that was so named because it had Meek in it, and Meek reminds me of Meekus, as in "Excuse me, have you ever heard of styling gel?" But the quote that this one comes from is, "Just because we have chiseled abs and stunning features, it doesn't mean that we too can't not die in a freak gasoline fight accident." It could happen to anybody. Doesn't matter how really, really ridiculously good looking you are.
Yes. You sound just like Derek Zoolander too. It's amazing. I
Seen
gotta
it a couple
rewatch that
times.
movie, dude. I haven't
It's
seen
a
that movie
classic.
it's the best. Yeah. I haven't seen it in so long. But it's fucking hilarious, that movie.
Yeah, that's the origin of the name.
That's so good. All right, well, take us through the deck. It's got Meek, Blade, Morbius, Swarm, Colleen Wing, Lady Sif, Dracula, Silver Samurai, Proxima Midnight, Stature, Modok, and Apocalypse. The floor is yours, Ben. Tell us about this deck.
All right, so one of the guiding principles for both the original Orange Mocha Frappuccino and this deck is that I'm just not into random discards. I'm aware that Gambit is a pretty cool card. He's always been sort of a hairstyle idol of mine.
Yes.
90s kids know or something. But anyway, I don't mess with Gambit. I don't mess with Moon Knight. I don't mess with. I don't even mess with Corvus now. I like to know exactly what I'm about to discard, and I like to make sure that it's Swarm or Apocalypse or Proxima Midnight or Wolverine when he's in the deck, but he's not in this one. So ideally, you want to draw Meek on turn 1. That would be cool, and you want to play him on the far right lane. Generally, that's where I think you play Meek on turn 1, unless there's a reason to play him on the left. If you know that the left location is safe, there's no reason to play Meek there because you know that there's a safe place to move when you discard a card, and it's pretty good to know where you're possibly going because there's some bad locations to move to. Fisk Tower. So ideally, Meek on 1, Morbius on 2 would be great. Very often you'll be passing 1 or 2 turns with this deck, and that's just fine because a lot of the value comes from MODOK later. So you get Morbius on the board if you can. You can also play Colleen on 2 if there's something cool to discard. You can play Blade on 2 if there's something cool to discard. Then ideally you play Lady Sif and Apocalypse. I mean, ideally all situations involve having Apocalypse in hand because he kind of wins games, and that's probably not a radical or surprising take, but yeah, Apocalypse turns out to be a very powerful finisher for discard decks.
Yeah. True.
Then on turn 4, if you don't have Dracula in hand, it's a great time to Silver Samurai. The earlier you Silver Samurai, the better. He just always hits something cool. Like maybe it's Iron Man. Sometimes it's even Hela. I mean, like all kinds of weird things that you might not think to target necessarily. Like he just always hits something good. So as long as he's not hitting your Dracula, and I mean, sometimes you do have to pitch your Dracula, and that's fine. But yeah, mostly you want to play Dracula on 4 unless you don't have him, and then you play Silver Samurai. But if you have Silver Samurai and Dracula, you play Dracula on 4, Silver Samurai on 5, and then that leads into turn 6, Stature and MODOK. And then hopefully you've got Dracula on the board, you've discarded Apocalypse between 1 and 3 times. Maybe you had Proxima Midnight in hand, and hopefully you've set things up so that she goes to a productive lane. Or maybe you discarded her earlier. It's really kind of a loosey-goosey, flexible deck. Sometimes you just play Apocalypse outright, and you can usually tell when it's going to be one of those games, so you'll MODOK on 5 in that case. And you just, barf out a bunch of swarms. There's if anybody's interested in seeing how it plays, there's a video of my Snap Judgments League match for the first week over on my YouTube channel. And I think I mostly made very good decisions while I'm playing that one. I don't want to spoil how it ends, but I think I did mostly good plays. So if you want to see how it works, that would be a thing to check out.
Nice. Ben, can I ask you a philosophical question? It's almost not even related to this deck.
Oh, I'm happy to answer a philosophical question.
All right, so we had just for a little bit of context, we had like a 2.5 hour pod where we did a 4-drop tier list. I wanted to do your opinion, and I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just I said enough about this card on our 4-drop tier list. I was the one talking about it a lot. What card do you think is better, Silver Samurai or Super Scroll?
Do I think is better?
Just a better Marvel Snap card, not in this card, not just in the Marvel Snap. You had to make a tier list.
Now this is indeed a philosophical question.
True,
because I, perhaps to my detriment as a player, and perhaps to the detriment of my rank, I'm not a huge believer in hateful tech cards and that sort of thing. And one of these cards does something in a vacuum, and one of them does not. Super Skrull is kind of a bad card, except when he's a really good card. Whereas Silver Samurai, always a good card. Silver Samurai, he's got his own money, like he's living his best life over here. He's handy and cool, and obviously he works best in discard decks or decks with stature or whatever, or that sort of thing. And when Super Skrull is great, Super Skrull is great, but I don't like counting on my opponent to do something silly like play a bunch of powerful ongoing cards, because I hate dead cards in hand. It just doesn't feel good, and I don't know, feels like a dodgy investment, and I would prefer a reliable, low yield, safe investment. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, it was a little bit loaded, so, shout out to Kier Nimbus anyway. I just had to bring that up. I was lobbying for Silver Samurai on the 4. I agree with you.
Well, I'm with you 110%. Silver Samurai, greater than Super Skrull. They're competing for the same initials. I mean...
That's true.
That's true, yes. The alliteration.
Silver Surfer is better than either one, though, so
yeah,
it's a tough environment. The S crew.
Sebastian Shaw's the worst.
Yeah, he does not even make top 5. There's got to be some
No.
other card with those initials that's better than him.
Even if there's not, he's below them.
Yep. That guy is 6th at best.
I don't hate him. I don't hate him. But yeah, no, that's cool. I like this discard deck a lot. I think Samurai is like pretty underrated. I mean, I don't want to sound like a hipster, but it's just if you play with the card, you see like it feels like 40% of the time you hit something like unreal. Like you're just
at
like, wow,
least.
like I maybe can snap like 40% of the time you play the card. It's crazy.
And it's very easy to discard something safe like Swarm.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can even get Proxima on the board with him if things are really weird.
Mhm.
But yeah, occasionally you have to pitch your own stature. I don't know. I think he's a great card. And no offense to Super Skrull's many fans out there. Yeah, he just doesn't. He doesn't do anything on his own.
Yeah, I like Super Skrull a little bit better. Sorry, Silver Samurai I like a little bit better as well than Super Skrull. I feel like Super Skrull comes out when the meta is very degenerate, and it's just like a
Mhm.
degenerate, like everyone's playing all these ongoings that are OP, and then you have to play Super Skrull to beat their ongoings, and it's like, yeah, it's it could be a cool tech card sometimes in like tournaments, but if there's like a ongoing like Thanos kind of meta, people just tech in Super Skrull, it seems. But I personally like Silver Samurai better. And my favorite Silver Samurai deck actually Kraken Null made is a Jund. Is a Jund deck where he had Silver Samurai, Darkhawk when it was a 4-0. There was Iron Man in there, so you'd like get rid of your own Darkhawk, but then there's a Ghost Rider to bring it back. And so
Ooh.
like you have Zabo, and so you're having a 3-power Ghost Rider with like or 3 energy Ghost Rider, on turn 6 with another like 3-drop. Or 4-drop that got Zabu'd, and it was just like immense power, and like people didn't expect it. And then you just destroy some of their crap too with the Silver Samurai. So it was awesome. It was a really fun deck actually. I loved it.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah. Well, no, this is a cool deck. I mean, what do you think about Proxima?
I
Just in
think
general.
she is great. I have been a huge fan from day one. Unfortunately, on day one, I only had 3 keys, and I had to grind out that 4th one later in the week to get her. So the new car smell was off of her by the time I acquired. But hey, if you get them by the weekend mission, it's all good. So
Yeah.
I got my rebate, and I think she's delightful. I think it's really easy to get her into the correct lane that you want. And I have yet to lose a bar with no name game because of her. It's like pretty easy to not screw yourself in that way if you don't want to,
Yeah.
She's free stats. She's enormous. The previous version of this deck had Wolverine in it. For a moment, I was trying to do both, but I just think she's vastly superior, and she's also much better played out of hand than Wolverine is. That guy is
True.
a 2/2, which is bad.
Bad.
Yeah, feels bad. Yeah, Swarm's bigger than Wolverine if you play.
Yeah,
Res.
Proxima's
I'm
got
glad you said
premium
that.
stats. She's practically a Crossbone over there.
Mhm.
Not that Crossbone
Yeah.
is like great, but you can play her anywhere.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I've heard some people like a little bit down on Proxima after. Like, I still think she seems to be a pretty good card.
Yeah,
I think she's
I
on her
don't
way
know
up now,
what
man.
they're.
I think
what their
pre-patch.
problem is.
Sorry, go ahead, Ben.
Oh, I don't know what is to dislike about this card. Honestly, like I don't know. I guess you can't fault people for feeling that things are underwhelming depending on where their expectations were set. But she's just all upside. Perhaps she's more niche than they were hoping she would be. Maybe some people were hoping they could like splash discard, like just to get Proxima in the game, and that probably is not a viable approach. But I don't know what the disappointed people thought she was going to be, but she's exactly the card she looked like she would be, if you ask me.
Yeah. They are who they thought they were, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Proxima's a cool card. This is a cool list. I'm not a discard
Oh, thanks.
enthusiast, but
Historically,
maybe
I
I'll
never
look this
was
up.
until January. This is unexplored territory for me, by and large. But
Oh, there
just
you
goes
go.
to show you can turn over a new leaf and try new things and have fun.
That's it. That's what it's all about, is having fun.
It really is.
Yeah. There's
Games.
nothing. Yeah, that's it. Nothing else matters.
Well, speaking of fun, you guys want to talk some Pixie?
Yeah, let's
Heck
hear
yeah,
No Big Deal
let's hear
Splice.
All right, so I've messed around a bit with this Pixie card. I mean, I've been looking forward to this all season. I don't want to play Hope Thanos, but I got a tournament match. There's $100 on the line, $100 first place prize. One of the Super Snap Bros. We're trying to get that. Ben Roller, we're trying to get that prize. I haven't watched your match yet, Ben. So after this, I am gonna watch it. So
Oh, really?
no spoilers for that either. But I
All
hope
right.
Ben wins his match too. All of us go 1-0. Let's go. One of us. We're gonna make it. Lambie already lost, I think, too. By the way.
Yeah,
so.
he's in my pod.
Yeah. Oh, so that means that this tournament's wide open as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it
Lambie's
is.
already lost. Let's go. So
I'm looking to go 1-3 probably. As of now, I won my one, and that's it. I'm happy. I didn't go 0-4, so I'm fine. I'm good now.
well, I
That's how
I
I
was
feel,
try
too.
hard grinding with Thanos, but now that we got Pixie, I tried her in high Evo. Makes sense there, obviously. You could always pass if you don't get the card, and high Evo, you don't care if you're passing, and you're just trying to discount your Hulk, your She-Hulk, your Abomination, whatever. So I mean, that's like a fine way to use it. Another way I think is kind of interesting, and I haven't seen anybody bring this up, is I haven't remotely ironed out this list yet, but just hear me out, all right? So you play Pixie, in Destroy, okay? So you play your Pixie, and you're going for all in on the Arnhem Nola combo, okay? So Nico is draw 2 card. I have Adam Warlock in this list. This is the only one that I actually have Adam Warlock in. He's a draw cards, and the list you have cards like Null, Arnhem Zola, Taskmaster, and so you have Taskmaster Venom, and all these cards like. Normally, the restriction with Destroy is like, oh, I have to kill my X-23, and then maybe I could only play 1 or 2 of these cards, right? But with Pixie, like they all get shuffled around, and you have a bunch of natural one drops, right, and 2 drops and stuff like Carnage 2. I put Wolverine Ears a 2. I put Bucky Barnes in there just to have something to kill. As 2. I'm not playing Death. We're not playing Deadpool. None of that old boring Destroy shit. No, we're just playing Null, and we're playing Arnhem Zola, and that's it. Or you just, you play Venom and you Zola the Venom. Or you play Venom and you Taskmaster the Venom. And you could do all these plays because one of these cards is going to get shuffled. And so you're going to have like a 2-power Null, a 1-power Zola, whatever, right? So it's kind of interesting. I've messed around a little bit with it. And I also have Enchantress in the list just in case they play Mobius. So that's an idea. And I haven't seen anybody even bring up Destroy with Pixie. What do you guys think about that?
This is the first time I've even considered the notion. Truly, yeah, just that's very innovative. I hope it works.
I've played about 10, 15 games. It feels like pretty good. Like it feels like
that's enough to get a
slightly more
feeling.
consistent than Mr. Negative.
Well, if that's where we're setting the bar, sure.
I think we have to with Pixie at this point.
No,
right?
that does seem like a very good point of comparison. In all honesty, like if you're gonna assess it, like Mr. Negative is clearly like the relevant sort of benchmark for cost swapping kind of things.
Well, similar to Jeet's Phoenix Force, right? I drew inspiration from him, and it's kind of like if you don't do the nut like Pixie with crazy combos, you could just play like a bit of a shittier Destroy deck, right? Like you could just do normal Destroy stuff. You still have Carnage, Venom, Null, Zola, so you don't have to Pixie them. You could just play them like normally, right? And so, yeah.
That's hilarious. I mean, last time you had one of these wild ideas, I thought you were an idiot, and then everyone on the season, at the start of the season, just like everyone came up with the same idea, and I was like, okay, maybe you're smart. He was saying Sandman Hella for when Corvus came out.
Well, the data mine leaks came out. Like we're gonna do it, boys. Sandman Hella.
I'm like, you're an idiot. That's never gonna work. And then everyone started playing Sandman Hella. And we're like, all right,
not innovative at all. Everybody figured it out. Anyway, so that's an idea. I'm just throwing some ideas out, guys.
Hey,
more smart
plausible.
Destroy people can come up with the 12 card. Sorry, well, go ahead, Ben. What are you saying?
Oh, it sounds very plausible to me. I don't know very much about Destroy. I haven't played it much since completing Series 3, honestly. Mostly I view it as a boogeyman that overpowers my small move hijinks and stuff. I'm on the outside looking in on Destroy, so if you say it's a party in there with Pixie, I'll believe you.
It's just an idea for now. I want to take this deck on screen to infinite first. I'm at like around 96 right now, and this deck's been winning a lot for me. But I want to just throw these other crazy ideas out first before we get into this Darkhawk Pixie deck. So another idea, just with the high Evo point. I think first of all, I think Nico is really good with Pixie because of the copy spell. And to really go crazy on that point, I think in a high Evo deck, I think I don't like Moon Girl as a card. I think she's kind of overrated, to be honest. But I think with Pixie, Moon Girl makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have a 1-power Hulk and you clone it, it's ridiculous, right? Yes. So you have a 1-power A-Bomb, you have a 1-power She-Hulk, and all of a sudden these Moon Girls are starting to get pretty consistent. And so Pixie in high Evo with Moon Girl, I think I've messed around a little bit with that. But I just don't feel like playing high Evo right now. So that's just a deck that's just in my collection here that I haven't really played too much. But that's another idea. And then what autofill Pixie. So like if you autofill Pixie, it gives you a Lockjaw deck every time. Haven't tried to play it. Also, Pixie by Night is kind of interesting. You could like kind of load your deck up with like Jane Foster on reveal card, Annihilus on reveal card, Sentry, Enchantress on reveal. These are all on reveal cards, right? And you move them to like 0 Yellow Jackets and on reveal card, Werewolves jumping around. It's kind of interesting. Beast, the good stuff. Pixie. But this deck. So I messed around with all those ideas, and this one feels like a legitimately good deck. It's based off Ika's Darkhawk list that he came up with right when Darkhawk got moved to 5 power and got nerfed to 5. So it's the Hood, Spider-Ham, Korg, Nico, Pixie, Armor, Mobius. That used to be a Black Widow. I changed it to Mobius. Rock Slide, Sentry, Darkhawk, Annihilus, and surprise card Goliath. So you don't really expect that in a deck like this. So nice thing with this deck, number one, is if you have the Pixie and you have only one 6-drop, then it's guaranteed to get discounted if it's in your deck, right? So like even just having a 5-power Goliath is really powerful. Normally you could only play one lane with Goliath, but if you just Pixie or Goliath when it's in your deck, you will guaranteed have Goliath plus one, like a 1-drop. You look at the deck, there's 4 freaking 1-drops here. So we got plenty of 1-drops to shuffle with all of our other cards. So the shuffling is kind of like rigged nicely in this deck. So Pixie on 2 into like Mobius, I find is usually like a snap. That's when I snap. I don't snap just on Pixie, but I have Pixie into Mobius. Like, let's go, And it's just like it's a really good deck. I mean, you got the normal Hood, Sentry, and Annihilus stuff. A 1-power Sentry is absolutely ridiculous. Like it just happens a lot in this deck. You could play Pixie on 3; it's not that big of a deal. And Nico is like just a rock star with Pixie. I think you always want to play, at least try to play Nico with Pixie, because if you Pixie and then draw 2, like it's absurd. You need to snap before you do that if you're going to do that kind of shit. And then Armor is just 2, like he's 2 power, right? So it's kind of nice. So you play your Darkhawk on the Armor lane and. Yeah, nobody's, it's mostly Shang still, so not too much Enchantress. So, love it. And if they Enchantress you, then you can Goliath that lane. So, opens up your Goliath play. So, that's how I look at it. So, what do you guys think about this deck? This deck's been like really good win rate for me personally, in high 90s on the way to Infinite.
It looks pretty good to me. I've got a question about Pixie. Is it true that she can't shuffle a card to its original cost? I think I read that like a card can end up keeping its normal cost, but like the odds are obviously not great.
It can, like, if there's it can't have its original cost, but like in this deck, Darkhawk can be a 5 because Annihilus is a 5.
Okay, but if Annihilus had already been drawn, Darkhawk is guaranteed to not stay at 5. Like he couldn't draw his own name out of the hat, so to speak.
Exactly. Yeah, it starts out with that's I think that's the only restriction.
I think that's how it works. Yeah.
I don't have the card, so I'm not very clear on that. the technical
Yeah.
workings.
I think if Darkhawk and Annihilus are both still in the deck when you Pixie, I think there's a small chance they could shuffle from each other and both be a
It's not
5
small.
still.
It's not small. Fucking
No, I mean like they can both be a 5 still. Is what I'm trying to say.
It's kind of like I got Hella in my hand, and it's a 1 in 6, and it's just one of those where it's obviously just gonna happen.
No. I'm saying that like Darkhawk and Annihilus can like be like both still be a 5 if they're both in your decks and you Pixie. Like there's a small chance that can happen.
Yeah. And it does come up a lot. So.
Yeah. All right. But the Eliath will always be less than 6 because there's only 1 6 drop.
Yeah. So you want to swap them with 1s, and I mean these cards are absolutely absurd when they're 1 cost. So and they're just good cards. I mean like Hood Sentry Nihilus is just good. Like like Darkhawk's actually pretty good. I didn't think he was going to be that good at 5/4, but this dude's like an 18 power card every time I play him. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty nice too because like then like. Even if like you draw like usually when you draw Spider Ham or Korg late or even like the Hood, like you don't even want to play them late a lot of the time. Like I guess Korg, yes you can like in a combo with something else, but like
it could be like a 1/4 with
Spider Ham, Hood, like even Nico. Sometimes you don't really give a shit about playing late. So if you draw like a 6 cost like Nico late or 6 cost Spider Ham like late in the game, like you don't really care. You're
it's like whatever.
Whatever. I don't care. I wasn't gonna play this anyway.
And if it's Mobius, it's a 1 anyway, right? So, but it's
That's
like
true. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, so it's just it's just a Darkhawk deck, and it's nothing, at the end of the day, right? And it plays. The nice thing is it plays totally fine without Pixie, right? Like you just play shit on curve, and you put out some mid range little stat line. You probably lose to the discard deck, but if they draw rocks, then you beat them. So it's like it's nice.
Seems like having a Pixie deck that can function without Pixie is probably the way to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's not a great card, probably.
Well,
it's a 2/1, right? And
it does look like fun though. I really am excited to play it. That's great. I like the destroy concept though. That's cool. This is like this seems like a bread and butter like.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get to infinite first, and then I'm gonna go absolutely crazy with wild shit. So let me get to infinite, and then I'll start like really fucking around and tanking my rank.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, I looked it up. According to Glenn, so there's a question here. Follow-up Pixie question. I wanted to ask a follow-up question about Pixie based on the answer to these 2 posts, and then they're linked, and I'm not gonna look at those. But question is, if I only have a single card of a particular cost, say Doom is my only 6-drop, for example, is it possible in the shuffle for him to get his own cost back, or is that only possible if there's another 6-drop in the deck? Are there protections for when the 2 lists are shuffled to prevent a card from getting matched with its own cost entry from the other list? And then it's replied to by Glenn, and he says, it's possible for a single card to get its own cost back, but improbable. If it was fixed to avoid that, it wouldn't be a truly random shuffle. So it sounds like Eliath could end up being a 6 again, but it's just not likely.
Oh, weird. I guess maybe I've just been getting lucky, or maybe it has to be like the last card or something,
I could believe something like that.
Yeah.
So I guess what it does then is it takes all the costs of the cards in the deck and then takes the cards left in the deck and then it's like randomly assigned, So I guess if there's a 6 there and there's an Eliath on this side, the Eliath can still randomly be assigned a 6 cost, right?
Oh, yeah. I thought it was they do them one at a time. So first you get, Sentry, give them a random cost. Then Hood, give them a random cost. And I don't think that part gives them their own cost. I think it's always something else, something else, something else. That's how I understood it. And then, so I think he's saying basically if Eliath happens to be your last card and 6 happens to be the only one that I guess something else. Yeah, they could have not taken it, I guess, right?
It's just random. Yeah. It's just random. It's random with the cards in there.
Yeah.
So it can randomly get its own cost again.
I haven't seen a 6 Eliath yet, but yeah.
It's coming.
Well, I hope it never happens to you.
I hope it does, so I can laugh.
Aww.
Well, they could just play Mobius, right? If the enemy player just plays Mobius, then he's 6. It is what it is.
Also, you're not sad getting a 6 cost Eliath. That's what it costs.
Yeah,
so
that's the going rate.
Yeah, that's why I think the deck's pretty good, right? It's just
that's MSRP
anyway, right?
Exactly. You're getting screwed. You're not getting upcharged.
Yeah.
And then I just been playing Jets Phoenix Force deck with Human Torch. Nothing to see here. Except I got this cool Carnage split. So
Oh, that is a nice Carnage.
Black Crackle.
yeah, Black Crackle. Hopefully they fix that.
Someday.
Yeah, someday. Let's go into the next. I mean, we're talking about 45 minutes about the meta here. I feel bad. All right, let's go.
No worries. I'm in no rush.
All right, good.
It was a good OTA, man. It was a good OTA. It's fun meta.
Yeah. Let's all right. Well, let's quickly talk about let's quickly talk about the Infinity Conquest that just finished. Right, that happened last week. How'd you guys do? Did you guys play any Infinity Conquest or not?
I played a little. I ended up with a ticket left at the end of the season, like a dope. I spend so much time like playing the smaller conquests, your PGs, your silvers and golds, and then very often I just don't have the passion in that last week to really like sweat it out. I lose on game 5 all the time. You would think I had more Infinity avatars, but I don't have that many. It's yeah. I'm a conquest like main and everything. I not even a ladder guy, but Infinity Conquest is just it's a bit of a slog, if I'm honest.
It is. No, I agree 100%. I mean, I play a lot less Conquest. I play mostly ladder because like a lot of times I don't have time to like sit down and do Conquest. So I too had an Infinity ticket go unchecked this time around, and I only played my first Infinity Conquest like the Tuesday morning. I'm Pacific time, so 11 o'clock is when 11 in the morning is when everything resets for me. So like I got up early. I'm like, all right, fuck. I have like 2 Infinity tickets. I'm like, I'm just gonna run through like one and just hopefully I can get to it. You know, I'm like, I gotta at least try one this one. And I played this Phoenix Force deck and just ran it through to an Infinity Avatar. It was hilarious.
Impressive.
I was sending no big deal screenshots. I did not think that that was gonna happen at all. But it was hilarious. Like I was just even when I wasn't drawing like the nuts, like just Deadpool was coming in clutch. And the first match was Sarah Control, which is a pretty hard matchup for this deck. So a lot of like just throwing priority. But yeah, I got lucky. It's my second ever Infinity Avatar, by the way. My first one I cheated when Loki was broken and played Loki.
That's not cheating.
When Loki was broken like a 3/5, I'm like, you know what? I want Infinity Avatar.
You wanted that Nimrod.
I wanted the Nimrod really bad. Yeah, the Dan Hip Nimrod neon pink bro avatar. So I just played Loki like a scrub and got an easy avatar then, and then haven't got one since.
Yeah, I got wrecked. I got wrecked. I'm happy the kid got there with the Phoenix Force. I was enjoying watching that saga on my WhatsApp. That was great. You're just crushing it. But I had 4 tickets and I lost 2 of them to Phoenix Force. Believe it or not, that was the deck that knocked me out. I played like some Hella. I played some Beat Ray Bill bullshit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just it wasn't my season. What can I say? I had 4 tickets, and I think the farthest I got was round 4.
Yeah, I was even almost stopping after like 2 rounds or 3 rounds. I'm like, oh man, like I just like it's a grind, dude. Like I don't know if I have time for this shit. And then like I'm like, you know what? I'm on track here. Let's just go until I lose. I'm like, I'll snap like an idiot and see what happens. And then
There's no wrong way to play.
Nah, who cares? Yeah, I was having a blast. Even if I lost, I was having fun. So who cares? But yeah, let's revisit last week's. What I want to do is revisit last week's OTAs and just give kind of quick summary of each card. Just say like, hey, is it good, bad? Our thoughts a week later. Let me pull it up here. Should have it. There we go. All right. And
I'll try to do one sentence. Review.
Yeah, we could be quick.
Yeah.
All right. Adam Warlock. Ben, you go ahead and start.
I wasn't playing him before. I'm not playing him now. If an Adam Warlock gets cost adjusted in the forest and I still don't give a shit, did it matter at all? I don't know. Sorry.
Nobody heard it.
It's true.
I hope he's better for the people who enjoy him. I hope that somebody's like having fun. Maybe if if I had all the time in the world and I didn't step on my glasses, sure, I would test out some Adam Warlock decks. You know, what's that Twilight Zone episode? Time Enough at Last, I think. I don't know. I don't know. The guy wants to read all his books and stuff, and then the world ends, and he's like, "Finally, I can read all my books." And then he immediately breaks his glasses, and you know.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, I mean, my take on him is he was crap before, and he's still crap, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, just don't have
still
enough time
dog
to
shit.
test
Probably
that
better
theory, but
before,
it feels
honestly.
true.
Yeah.
He's yeah.
Starts sucks.
I haven't seen him once in a week.
I do want to point out quick, like I saw Glenn got asked about him in a comment, and he's like, "Yeah, we were debating between the 4 and 6 power threshold at the 5 cost, and so for some reason they decided on 4 would be the one to go with." So good for you guys. The card's dog shit still. Probably
Is
worse
there
than a
any
2-0.
chance that he's good in a Pixie deck that makes him somehow cost like 3 maybe, and then
I
you
got him
play
into
on-
Destroy. The Destroy one I brought up with the Nola, Adam's
Oh,
in
that's
there,
right.
so
I
we'll
was gonna
see.
say I don't think I even came up with that idea. That sounds familiar. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I mean-
just parroting your own stuff back to you.
no, it's all good. Yeah.
No big deal's been saying that about Adam Warlock. He's like, when after the change, he's like, "This is a Pixie card now. We gotta just. That's the only way this
that's all
piece of
you can
shit's gonna work."
It's only, where else are you going to play it? This is a joke. This card
Yeah.
sucks. Anyway, let's go to the next card.
Darkhawk. Darkhawk. Okay, I'll start with him. Little bit worse, still really good.
Still really good. Yep.
Way
agree.
better than I expected. I expected it to be a lot worse. And it's still like, I think it's like, went from like a 9.5 out of 10 to like an 8 out of 10 card, It's
Honestly,
like really good.
like I feel like Ronan kind of looks a little bit like I mean, like Ronan's still a good card, but like now there's a little more competition for these big ongoing folks, because you can control how many cards are in the opponent's deck. You can't control really how many cards are going to be in their hand. You can
Yeah.
do things, but can you?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
No, exactly. No, I agree. But yeah, still really good. So there's a nice nerf to Zabu though, so that's good.
Yeah, no, good change. It's a good change.
Forge. You guys go ahead.
I think this is probably good for the game, because I don't like Forge in other people's decks, but for me, doing my surfer things, I'm a little bit frustrated. Slightly clunkier now. I really liked having a 1-drop that you could play on turn 4 along with another 3 cost. I mean, sometimes Brood. Forge still works great if you're curving into the Brood Absorbing Man thing in his newest current form. But I do miss when he was just a tiny little guy who could fit in anywhere. But sorry, Deadpool. I think on the whole this is a positive change. I hate it when they break my toys, but it's for the greater good.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go. I think it's fine. Whatever. It doesn't. I think overall he's a bit worse, but in the decks I play, he's fine. Like Phoenix Force, he hasn't changed really much. He stayed in the deck. He's still doing his thing. Definitely worse, but fine change.
Yeah, I thought, it was an S tier 1-drop,
Yeah,
probably second best
Little too
1-drop
good.
in the game. And they hit it, so I think that's good to hit cards like that. I mean, Nico's still out there. She's still being ridiculous, but it's good. They're hitting the best cards in the game. That's fine with me.
You leave Nico's name out of your mouth.
Yeah,
She's still out there.
She's got that Peach Momoko variant coming in April Spotlight, so they're not going to change that card. Ant-Man. Seen him a little bit more. I guess got a little bit more play. He's okay now, I guess. Still,
I think he's
whatever.
great now.
Okay. All right. There we go. Nerf Martyr. This is what this is. Martyr nerf.
I mean,
But yeah, 1-5 is great.
yeah, I think they're both good. I think you can't print a 1/5 that's bad. That's just not a thing.
That's true. Would you play him over like? Why play him over like Titania or Martyr, or do they just all slot in like one like? Or not. Sorry. Why play those cards over Ant-Man now? Ant-Man just seems like the 1/5,
Oh
the one
yeah,
that you would
I
play.
was about to list a bunch of reasons to play Ant-Man.
No,
over
sorry, I meant the
parts.
other way around.
I was like, well, this guy gets along great with Valkyrie, Spectrum,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Like, yeah, I mean, Martyr. I guess I could. I don't really trust Titania all that much.
No, yeah.
I know that like other people have had great performances with her and all that. I'm convinced it's a me problem. I'm not clever enough to play Titania, but I am clever enough to play Martyr, and I think that you know, she's still got value and uses because filling a lane is kind of a hoop to jump through,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think Martyr's not obsolete, but you'd have to ask somebody else to defend Titania because I've never been a believer.
That's good.
Got player with Ghost. Player with Ghost.
Yeah, that's probably it. That does seem
big,
to be the pattern. Those are the decks that work with her.
no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool change. I like when they buffed the less played cards in the game, cards that aren't showing up in top tier lists. This is one of them. It's great. I love it. Is Ant-Man like taking over the meta? I don't think so, but I like it. I love that they did this.
And we're seeing more of him, which is cool. So I like that. America Chavez, shit before, still dog shit.
Really?
That's my take. I'm sorry. That's how I feel.
I've been enjoying her in some surfer things. I'm not sure if she's the most practical like card in slot, but it feels great to hit Sebastian Shaw. Feels great to hit Brood. Great to hit Absorbing Man. So there are like 3 good hits for America Chavez in some of my surfer lists, and like that makes it seem like it might be worthwhile. And if she hits another card, that's she's still like premium stats. It's 1/4. Like that's pretty good. I don't know. It feels like she should be a real card. I don't know.
This is why I like having guests on the podcast, because
Yeah.
then you could tell us.
I
I don't
haven't
play.
played her,
I don't play surfer at all,
yeah,
so
I haven't played
I have
any
no
surfer.
idea.
Yeah.
I think she's
Yeah.
better than
When
she was.
Shaw first came out, I played Chavez in my list, like the 2/3 one.
Yeah, I kept trying to make that work, but it kept not working.
Yeah, 1-drops are just so much better. You just throw them in,
Yeah. Well, they can be so much better. For a minute there, 2-drops were making 1-drops look kind of like not good. I don't know.
That's true.
I am aware that we can curse up a fucking storm on this show, right?
Oh hell yeah!
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
We're in no danger of being monetized anytime soon.
Okay. Good. Then 2/3 Chavez was kind of dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I wish they would be less scared with changes like this. If I'm hitting a random ass card in my deck, I would like to see a +3 personally. That's just my. I think this is too safe. They're just scared. They're scared to let Chavez blossom again and take over Marvel Snap. Like she used to. So
Yeah.
it's okay. Whatever. I just this seems like a safe okay card. And I don't love when they do changes like that personally.
Again, I said it last week, and I'll say it again. On the ladder, if I see Chavez being played, I immediately snap because it's a bot. No one plays this card.
Well, that is the truth. Yep.
I haven't run into Ben on the ladder, I don't think so.
Perhaps not.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be careful now.
I haven't got my ass kicked by a Chavez surfer list yet, so
people are unironically playing Domino Agatha now. It's scary out there. You think you see Domino, it's a bot, but it's a human playing Agatha. But still,
yeah, foolproof heuristic.
Yeah, I know. All right, Lockjaw. What do you guys think of Lockjaw? Ben, we'll start with you.
I wasn't playing Lockjaw before because I don't like Lockjaw very much, but I'm glad that this change happened, but I don't think it's made Lockjaw unplayable by any stretch of the imagination. I just think maybe Lockjaw goes in different decks that want to do different things. But that's, kind of wild speculation on my part because I'm sure as shit not building those decks. Sorry. I'm not into that casino, swapping cards in your deck kind of thing. It's just, it doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah, don't get Pixie.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason I skipped Pixie.
Don't
Like,
do
she's
it.
just not my kind
You're
of
gonna hate
card, and I'm very happy for all
Yeah.
the people who enjoy her and who enjoy Lockjaw. Honestly, I know that like Lockjaw has been like a little bit oppressive, but I don't begrudge people like that kind of like mechanical identity for a card. Like I can see why they think that's fun, and I think they deserve to have their fun. And I'm glad that Lockjaw is not entirely dismantled at this point for their sake.
Yeah. Yeah. Since No Big Deal is a huge Lockjaw enjoyer, I'll go for second here, and then he can close it out.
Cool.
Definitely way worse. R.I.P. the Jane Jaw lists. Those got really horrible.
Yeah.
I still see him in, because it just messes with your curve so much now. But I still see him in some Thanos lists, but obviously not as good. And I don't even know if Thanos is more optimal without him now. Definitely nerfed all the Hella lists, which is kind of good because those were getting to be
Yes.
too played. I kept seeing Hella like every third game, and it was like, come on, guys, like I want to play other lists. You know,
Mhm.
it's not like I was losing to Hella every time, just seeing them so
But
much.
yeah.
It's like, and it made that list so consistent because they can just like get 3 free draws like with Jubilee and stuff, so they're always getting their Hella. So it's nice that it got rid of those, but definitely worse. But it was a very powerful card that needed a nerf. So
Mhm.
glad they did it, and we'll see. No big
Yeah,
deal.
sorry, my dog is losing his mind. But anyways, the quick review. I think
Carlos.
Carlo, yeah, because Lockjaw, right? He's barking at the other dog.
It's gotta be
So I mean,
Just
this
being
card was
strict.
phenomenal. I'm happy they changed it. I said it when we looked at it, reaction wise, but I think it's borderline dead card now. I think it's really bad right now.
Mhm.
But maybe still borderline playable sometimes if you come up with a really creative brew and way to play it. But I think overall it's just not a very good card right now, and I think that's fine. I'm happy they tried to make it not the case by giving them +3 power, right? You think, okay, like, yeah, it's one turn later, but like we'll give him a bunch of power too. So I actually think that was like, good intention, but he feels horrible to play on 4. So yeah, I don't think he's very good right now.
Very good. Swordmaster, 3/6 or 3/7. I didn't play him before, and I still am not playing him because I don't play this
Yeah.
card too much.
I'll go next. I like this change. I haven't messed around with it too much, but I know Ben doesn't like the random discard.
Random
But again,
discards, don't trust them. That's how you
yeah,
lose
but
games.
I also don't trust, giving my opponent 2 draws. And old Maximus did that, and people played that card. Now it was a different time. It was before like a bunch of good stuff got injected into the game, but different era. But still, like in the same vein, if I play 0 into Swordmaster, like I don't know, it's a 3/7, so it's a less potentially punishing effect than Gladiator potentially. I mean, I think Gladiator's better. I'm not saying he's better than Gladiator. He's not like the Chad is the Chad of all
Damn
Chads,
right.
right?
Damn right.
Don't get it twisted. But I'm just saying this is a very interesting card at a 3/7, and I think at a 3/6 it was just not interesting at all, and very easy to just cut from your deck. Like, why would you play it as a 3/6?
Yeah, there was like no reason ever under any circumstances, if you ask me.
I agree. And Vulture, fuck yeah, +5 to +6. One move, 3/9. Great change. Love it.
Yeah, I do love to see it. I still don't think it's enough, honestly. I think the
No,
game
we'll
has
get there.
outgrown Vulture in a way that saddens me.
We'll get there. One move will get there one day.
Yeah, but the thing is, it was there before. It was so good for so long before anybody knew. Like, oh man, like when Silky Smooth hit the scene and everybody found out that those cards were good, I was very happy, but also a little bit frustrated because like the secret was out. Ugh. I mean, not that Vulture was one of the cards in Silky Smooth,
No.
but like
I know
Vulture
what you
was in all my old move decks that were pretty darn good according to my numbers. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just think things get too big now for Vulture to fully hang at the moment. But hey, maybe hope changes things. Maybe other cards will change things. I'm hopeful that I get to play more Vulture, and I still build with him once a season or so, but he just, I don't know. He's been a little lackluster since things got giant and since Angela got nerfed and since Elsa got taken apart and she doesn't work with Iron Fist anymore and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna say I'm very nervous for my top 5 list, and I think Ben's gonna make fun of me later.
Good.
As a teaser and a segue into the next segment, I'm a little nervous.
I love all the move cards. I'm not going to make fun of any of them.
No, you can make fun of me though for including Vulture in my top 5.
If you did, then that's great because I felt horrible not having him because I do feel a great sentimental attachment to him. I owe him a lot.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Well, like I said, we'll get there.
He's my guy. You don't have the best Vulture though.
I know.
Where's Giulio Rincione?
I don't have it.
Oh,
sorry. I have a booster saved until I get it.
Only one I have. Only one I have is
one of the only 2 variants I've ever purchased with gold. I had to have that one.
I love it. Yeah, he looks so like menacing, almost like just. It's great. I love it.
So distressed.
Yeah. With that, we'll go into our top 5 move cards with one of the move gods himself, Benjamin
know about all that.
Roller. It's all right. I'm giving you that title.
All right.
I know you don't give it to
God.
Who's Molt? I don't even know. I'm just kidding. But all right. Who wants to start this off? Actually, Ben, I think you should go last every time.
Okay, yeah.
And then you can make fun of us. So no big deal. What was your number 5?
All right, we go top to bottom. So for my list, I was looking at it like there's 2 or 3 different ways to play a move. It's not all just straight up, Heimdall move. I mean, some people play bounce, some people play Phoenix Force, some people play little movers, right? So I wanted to give the other archetypes a little bit of love too, but I wanted to rank the cards as if they were in their own deck. So I don't want to do a card like Jeff or Magneto, which I think are phenomenal cards in Marvel Snap, because I think Magneto's really good in Little Movers deck, but it's more like Magneto's just a really good card in general. He'll just win you games on his own. So number 5, I put Silk as my number 5. I'm a big time believer in Silk. I think she is her and Craven together, and I had to pick between the 2 because I picked her because Craven gets cut from a lot of kind of bounce move lists, and but I think her and Craven are right there, Silk and Craven, and they're the heart and soul of the little movers list. And when she's bouncing around, Miles is always free. Craven gets boosted up, and she's kind of the one that snowballs, and she's just a 2/5 to start. So and she scales up from there, which I think is crazy. And I think Silk's just a sick card, and it's good into a lot of like weird locations too. So I picked Silk as number 5.
I like that. My number 5 is Vulture, the one on the screen right now. I love him. I love the change. 1 move and he's a 3/9, which is primo stats for a 3. It's bigger than the Chad after 1 move. And if you happen to move him twice, which isn't that hard to do,
no, it's
guy's
not.
a 3/5. It's a 3/15, which is pretty insane.
It's nuts.
So I mean, like, I really love what they did with him. It's great, and he's like another like massive threat now with like with other cards that we'll mention probably later. But I don't know. I love this change. Vulture's great. I think he's a great move card. He's my number 5. Ben, what you saying?
All right, my number 5, according to this list, is Juggernaut.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I actually only recently started playing Juggernaut. I'm very slow to, let new cards into my heart sometimes. And when I say new cards, I mean cards that have been in the game the entire time. So, but he's like half price Eliath sometimes. It's just wild. He just wins games. He steals cubes at the very end there. And if you want to know something cool you can do with him, you can bounce some, well, not bounce, but you can shove aside some unrevealed cards onto Kingpin's lane. Guess what? Yeah. They still get debuffed, even though they haven't even flipped over yet. Your opponent finds out that actually Deadpool has negative power. Whoops. like that kind of thing. It's Juggernaut is phenomenal. He's clutch at the end. He's clutch in the middle. He just he can't be stopped. That's sort of his thing. Big fan.
That's great.
Great
Yeah,
card.
actually,
A surfer card.
that's it. A surfer card. I think it was Cozy's and Coach's podcast last year. They had Molt on, and I think they did a top 10 or like a top 10 or top 5 move cards. Juggernaut was number 1 for Molt, actually.
Yeah, I think
this was
that was actually
sometime last
probably
year.
what planted the seed where I was like, I gotta start trying this card out. I gotta give it a chance. And so finally now, like a year later, I'm like, yeah, I like Juggernaut. He's cool.
That's great.
Yeah, I love him in Little Mover specifically. I mean, I don't play the other move decks too much, but in my Little Movers deck, I mean, Juggernaut, absolute staple. And yeah, works with the Kingpin to Ben's point there. And I do think he's a lot better with priority. And the Little Movers deck is, and like, Silk, like I mentioned, I mean, these cards are awesome for securing priority because just you get a bunch of big power out early. And then if you're simply, down by 2 or less in a lane, like he just wins you that lane. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, you just have to be -2 in a lane and Jugga solos it for you. So
yep.
Especially like, having priority, they don't get their on reveals, all this stuff is like really nice. So yeah,
really
that's a really interesting
half-priced
pick, Ben. I wasn't ready for it, but I like it.
Yeah, especially like with like tribunal decks and stuff too. Like they're putting setting their combo. You're like, nope,
not
unless
today.
they somehow get the nut combo or Cosmo on 3, which rarely happens, but still. All right, let's go with number 4. I'll say mine, then no big deal. You can say yours. Sure. Mine's Iron Fist. Iron Fist is just. This guy's just a staple in move decks. He's a 1-drop. He's so versatile, especially with like straight up move decks. Like what you want is, low cost and something you just combo off. And he on reveal moves the card to the left. And he's a 1-drop. So he's great in every move deck. Mm-hmm. I love him.
Well, every move deck that has
top 5.
The growers, your
yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're playing like little movers and stuff, like with the Silky Smooth Spider-Man, that kind of stuff, then no, he's not good in that. But yeah, with the scaling threats, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, on mine, I was debating between this guy, Ghost Spider, and the one I picked for my number 4 slot, Move Enabler. I love these cheap Move Enablers. Also, shout out to Cloak. I mean, I like all these cards, but we can only pick 5. And I put the new Doctor Strange at number 4.
Beautiful.
A lot of it was inspired by watching the kids match against ZT4. This guy's got 3 8-power multiple mans, and he plays a Doctor Strange, and it's like a 25 power play, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. I do think this card was a legit bad card at 3 cost. Personally, I was clamoring for the buff, and I love that he got it, and just feels like, hey, turn 6, like I could Heimdall, but I also could just Doctor Strange the right lane, or some like I can move. They're like, oh, no card moves right. Doctor Strange does, and he moves your biggest card. So, and he's a 2/3. So yeah, man, I love this card, but also Iron Fist, Ghost Spider are 1 cost and they're 6. So I don't know. I'm not a move guy, but I put Doctor Strange.
This is a great choice.
Kid. I like it.
Yeah, I love Doctor Strange. He's great. No, I agree 100%. He didn't make my top 5 because, like, I don't know. I don't see him too much in traditional move lists. Maybe he is, but like he's
move bounce. He's like really good.
Yeah. And the Phoenix Force is amazing in the Phoenix Force deck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I like him a lot. Ben, who you got at number 4?
All right. So something really stuck out to me about Doctor Strange and that discussion. Like, what's your alternative to Heimdall on turn 6? Because your opponent will know about the possibility of Heimdall. So it really does behoove you to have something else cool you can do on turn 6, especially in Conquest. Because, sometimes you are going to do Heimdall, but then they're definitely going to know about Heimdall and all that. So my number 4 is Magneto. I'm sorry. I know. Is he even a move card?
No, fair.
Yes, of course awesome. He's a move card. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
You drop him on the Craven lane. Now, I guess you can drop him on the Kingpin lane, although I have not combined them yet, just in any of my decks. But, he just... he's a great card, a great move card, and I love one of my favorite shells that I've been recycling for probably a year now. Is Heimdall, Magneto, and then like small move stuff. Yeah, just the Heimdall Magneto dichotomy. Your opponent doesn't know what's happening. Like they aren't sure what's happening in any of the lanes. It's he's a really good card. He's very popular for a reason. Yeah.
I agree 100%. And even with the anytime I make like a Heimdall deck or whatever, I always have Magneto as a second option. Not always, but most of the time, because you're just exactly what you said. He's a great other option. They're expecting Heimdall, and you can just Magneto, and he's like huge power, and it's awesome. Yeah, he's a great card. We might hear about him later.
Nice. Yeah, Ben Roller knows that one of the best cards in the game, and not only might we hear about him later, we might see some sweet plays with him tonight in the NVD versus Roshko Snap Judge League game. So stay tuned for that as well. There's some big time Magneto plays in that one.
Nice. All right, we're on number 3. No big deal. You want to go?
I got Vulture at 3.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Aha!
So I wouldn't have put him here without the buff. I do think the buff matters a lot. You move him into a Hercules lane. He's already 315. One more time, 21. I think it's like pretty reasonable to get him to 21. When I think about the most powerful move cards specifically, like the cards that pop off the hardest in move decks, like I want cards that can just win the lane by themselves. I mean, they're cheap cards. You don't have to invest 6 energy in a Heimdall, right? And it's telegraphed, and they know to play around everything moving left, right? So if you ever play against a move player, you know that what's going to happen with the Heimdall. But Vulture, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. And we got all these cheap movers. We got Iron Fist, Ghost Spider, Doctor Strange. I mean, he's so easy to move. And I think with the +6, he's absolutely ridiculous. And if you do happen to get a Hercules to work, I mean, he gets even more crazy. So I like Vulture, and I do want to say I don't have Human Torch on my list because he's also vulnerable to Killmonger, and you have to scale him early. Vulture you could play late, like move him twice, and he's fine. But Torch, you have to get him early. He's also vulnerable to Killmonger as well as Shang and Shadow King, and so I left Torch off for that reason, and I chose Vulture as my kind of win condition at number 3. But again, I'm not the move guy. I could be wrong.
That's a great call. Great call. Does anybody have Human Torch on their list?
No.
All right, y'all are my people. I hate Human Torch. Garbage. Dies to Killmonger. Only good in Phoenix Force. No, he's fine in bounce. He's fine in bounce move. That's true. But yeah,
I only put him back in the Phoenix Force deck because Jet just said that he's like, I'm using the Torch version now instead of Goliath. I'm like, all right, well if Jet's doing it, then I'll do it.
Yeah,
that's basically it. Just Force. Pure net deck. I'm like, he knows what he's talking about. Yeah. Actually, Torch has been pretty good in that deck, But yeah, you have to. If there's Killmonger, he's taking. I'm just taking him out of the deck immediately. If there's a Killmonger,
and he's just so much work. You got to move him so many times before he gets huge. Yeah. Whereas Vulture is just one and good enough. Not necessarily done because we all love a 321, but a 3/9 is pretty cool too.
At least with Human Torch and the Phoenix Force deck too, to avoid Killmonger, if you Phoenix Force on 4, then you can move the Torch, Ghost Spider, Venom, and then Taskmaster the big Venom. So that way they play Killmonger into nothing and then they cry. So yeah. All right, who you got at number 3, Ben?
Okay, my number 3. Let me consult my list.
Nice.
Is he strong? Listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood.
Oh, I was going to put him... Nice.
That's right. None other than Spider-Man. With great reworks come great Craven buffing. Oh my gosh. Is there any feeling so good as just dropping Spider-Man on turn 3 and swinging 9 power when you grab a guy and throw him into the Craven lane? Oh, nothing like it. It's delicious. He's just a really strong card. I don't in general like reworks because they kill cards that people get attached to and like and stuff. And, you know, if you liked classic Spider-Man, my heart goes out to you, but I like this one way better. I think he's more fun, more flavorful, and that has to count for something. Also, pretty darn powerful. Great surfer card, great move card, great move surfer card. Yeah, he's just one of my current favorite cards in the game.
I love he would have been an honorable mention for me. I almost had him at 5, and then I snuck Vulture in at the last second. He was almost going to be number 5 for me. I love Spider-Man. My favorite superhero. I was so sad when they changed him, but he's turned out to be amazing after the change. So I'm really happy they didn't kill him, like, because I loved the old Spider-Man. I thought he was really cool. I was a filthy Galactus enjoyer, so. But I love how they changed him, and one of the best reworks they've ever done. I think they changed him, and he's still a great card. So
yeah, this is a god tier card in Little Movers specifically. I think I tried to just stick to one card for Little Movers personally for my list, so that's why he didn't crack it. I wanted to do just Silk for that, and I left the rest to mostly pure move cards. But yeah, man, Spider-Man's crazy, and I think he's just almost always better. At least when I play it, it feels like he's almost always better than Polaris in those lists. Like Polaris is fine and maybe a little safer, maybe a little more targeted, but the idea that he moves and he takes something with him and it can be not a 1 or 2 drop card. Like Polaris only moving 1 and 2 drops, and so Spider-Man can swing games, to a lesser extent the way Juggernaut does, but he's also 5 power and moves himself. So, yeah, he's got some upside too. So, yeah, I love this card. I mean, owns Tribunal, to your point, kid. This card wrecks the Tribunal deck by himself. You just play him into the Onslaught lane and GG. So, yeah, man, awesome card.
Yeah, no pun intended. Swings games.
Brainy neighborhood Spider-Man.
And with that, number 2. We're number... No, yes. Wait, no, my number 3.
What was your 3, kid? Kid, you got to do your 3.
We didn't do my 3. You're right.
Yeah.
My 3 is Dagger.
Nice.
I mean, the new change. I mean, this card's just a 220 half the time. I mean, what else is there to say? You move this card once and it's like a 2, like a 9, 6. 2, 6 is already, if there's 2 things in the lane, you move it once, it's already great. If you move it twice, like this card gets up to 220 pretty easily. It's ridiculous, and there's not much Shadow King in the meta, so, and it's hard to Shang-Chi this card because it's moving around a lot. You tend to move it, so I don't know. I think Dagger's a sick card. I'm happy they're buffing these move cards, these traditional quote unquote move cards, slowly but surely. So hopefully, I like it.
Yeah, Dagger's nuts and powerhouse card. Number 2, I think, Kid, I think you're gonna like my pick. I put Phoenix Force at number 2.
Oh yeah, look at that. Going with the Phoenix Force, I love it.
Look, it's an archetype defining card. Like I said, I'm trying to define Little Movers. I put Silk.
If Phoenix Force is a move
I was
card,
debating putting Multiple
move
Man because I'm like, Multiple Man is like the key nut draw in the Phoenix Force deck. But I'm like, Multiple Man on his own compared to, like, Phoenix Force is what makes him ridiculous in my opinion. And like in a traditional, like a Shuri Enjoyer bounce move type of list, you don't even play Multiple Man. A lot of time he takes up too much space as just a 3 power. But Phoenix Force makes him absolutely insane, especially since the Hulkbuster nerf too. Old Hulkbuster on Multiple Man, crazy. But, these days, I mean, I get 5 power Multiple Mans, but it's okay. I like my 8 power, and then I move 1, and then I can move 2, and then I can move 4, and it's like the whole board is Multiple Man, and that's all because of Phoenix Force, and you get to choose where he moves. Like, Vision, you have to pay 5 power to do that, but Phoenix Force does it for 4, and he pops off way harder. And this card is freaking. By the way, I'm happy the kid brought up, that wasn't on the docket or whatever to topics, but he brought up Infinite Conquest. And like I said, I got absolutely abused for 2 Infinite tickets to this card. So I respect it now, and it's number 2 on my list.
I did not put any Phoenix Force cards on my list. I was just like, Phoenix Force is its own archetype.
It's
that was
move.
I looked at
look,
it.
And then move each turn. There's not much more move cards that's as much of a move card like this. This card moves every turn.
I know. No, that's fine. I respect it. I'm just saying, hey, listen, we had no restrictions on the list. That's fine.
Yeah.
I like it. This is what I like. You see these wild shit like this. It's great. Ben, who you got at number 2? Or no, I got number 2. Oh, number 2. We kind of already talked about this guy, Magneto. Magneto's number 2 on mine. I mean, he's a ridiculous card. He's a ridiculous card in the meta. He has been for like 6 months, and he moves cards. He's awesome. It's like everything Ben said, and plus that.
Yeah.
He's my number 2. He's a fucking ridiculous card.
Yeah.
He's so good, especially the Miss Marvel meta where he just disrupted everything. Darkhawk was a 4. He disrupted the shit out of that every time. You win. This guy just wins games so much, and for some reason, people still I don't know. When I play, it seems like they just don't expect it, and I just I don't know.
It's hard to play around. It's hard to play around Magneto because he's pulling. You can't Cosmo and Magneto. In fact, he counters Cosmo himself.
Yep.
So,
but sometimes I think in my head, I'm like, all right, how does Magneto fuck me here? And I'm like, all right, I have the 3-drop here, 3-drop here. I'm like, all right, and then I'll fill a lane so that Magneto doesn't kill me. You can play around it a little bit, but.
Oh, you're too good at it. You're too good at the game. I don't think that one. I just play the cards.
I've gotten destroyed by Magneto so many times that it's I got to think of it now. Kind of like Goliath when Goliath first came out. I still get owned by Goliath.
I do play around.
Yep.
All right, Ben, who you got at number 2?
All right. So for my number 2, I guess. Well, we've already spoken about this card, but she's just a little too good. It's Silk. Silk is phenomenal. I've got a lot of information and numbers and things. My top 5 most played cards in all of Marvel Snap, according to one of the trackers, are Kraven, Silk, Spider-Man, Iron Fist, Ghost Spider, in that order. Silk is my second most played card, and she's got the highest cube rate of any of the cards I listed. She's just awesome. I've believed in her from day one. Not that there's anything wrong to the Johnny come latelys to Silk, but she's always been awesome. It was just criminal how neglected she was out the gate. She gets into all kinds of lanes. Her downside is not meaningfully a downside, in my opinion. I think you get way more upside out of it, especially if you're running a certain 2-drop that I think I'm going to mention later. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, she's just premium stats. She solves problems. She shouldn't create problems for you unless you're being sloppy or silly. I mean, inevitably, all kinds of cards can cause problems for anyone, but she does not cause as many problems as I think people used to believe she would. The same people who didn't believe in Martyr also didn't believe in Silk, and they were even wronger about Silk than they were about Martyr, is my opinion.
Yeah.
She's just
no big deal. Spent 6,000 tokens on Silk when she came out.
Yeah.
Day one, baby.
Yeah, I bought her on day one.
Immediately.
I took her to my first Infinite Conquest. That deck has, I've got it right here. My Infinity Avatar winning deck from June 30th, 2023 is Iron Fist, Angela, 2/3 Ghost Spider. That's right, 2/3 Ghost Spider. Not even
hipster.
Yup.
Hipster. That's great.
Craven, Jeff, Silk, Cloak, Vulture, Polaris, Spider-Man 2099, 4/6, Heimdall, Magneto. I love it. I've loved Silk from the beginning, and she has been rewarding me with many cubes and tickets and things ever since. If you don't have this card, get this card, love this card, play this card. Just enjoy yourself. She's so much fun. And just one of my very favorite cards in the game, move card or otherwise.
Yeah, it's a great card. Yeah, 100%.
And for people who are scared of, I don't know what lane she's going to end up in, it's easier than you think at the end of the game. So by the time the game, all the cards are played, usually you could reliably fill up one lane. So you narrow it down to 50-50. And then depending on priority, it's not that hard to predict. If you have prio, you can proc her first, Mm-hmm. And if you don't have prio, then they're probably going to play on the Silk lane, so you can play around that. She's going to jump once, and you know exactly where she's going. And you don't always know exactly where she's going to end up, but you have a better idea than you think, and a better idea than people make it sound. And wherever she goes, she's a 2/5. And also, just a quick shout out to C5. Quick shout out to Cerebro, the boy.
Get that garbage out of here.
Nothing but respect for the fancy brain computer.
I have the opposite.
The psionic
disdain. I have
amplifier.
that card.
C5 staple.
All right, and with that, I think we're headed into number ones, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I'll go first with the number one.
Sure.
Ben just mentioned this card, but it's gonna be Ghost Spider.
Woo!
I like Ghost Spider number one move card. One, because it's a one drop, so it enables everything. It's such a sick card to play. I love playing this card. It's fun in a bunch of decks, not just move decks. People were even playing it after Doctor Octopus. That got hip for a little while. Doc Ock and then Ghost Spider to the yoink the Doc Ock out of that lane. So this is just a card that's move always had a problem back in the day where it was like you can only move left, you can never move right. This card solved that problem, but they released it as a 2/3, which people that were not as good as Ben couldn't play that card well. Me. But when it got to a one drop, it was like, oh man, then it just enables so many more combos. You move left, you move right, you move it wherever you want. Such a cool card. I think to me it's the best move card. But there's a ton of other cards, but this card just enables so much for the archetype that's why I included it as number one. It's great.
Great choice.
I love it. Yeah, no, go. Okay, Ben, you got anything to say about Ghost Spider? I don't think she's.
I love Ghost Spider. I've always loved Ghost Spider. She was great at 2/3. She's great at 1/2. She's just a card that we needed to have. I don't know if y'all have seen the data mined version of Toad, but he's just old 2/3 Ghost Spider, according to whatever the game's files looked like the last time he got pulled out of them.
Oh,
so I mean, he's clearly not going to release as a second copy of Ghost Spider, but yeah, that's just a fun trivia fact about 2/3 Ghost Spider is that it's also the Toad design. But yeah, Ghost Spider's awesome. That's such a great choice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Ghost Spider's sick. And great and move bounce too. The Falcon brings her back and now just more Ghost Spiders. She's abuser, so
good.
I love it. Number one. I put a card that, she wins the lane by herself. It's similar to Vulture, but she's cheaper and the same amount of power. So I put Dagger at number one.
Phenomenal choice. Excellent card.
I'm a little recency biased. I've been playing the Shuri Enjoyer bounce move list, and this just feels like the MVP of the list to me. And Ghost Spider Kid, to your point, is a big part of that. Vulture feels absolutely insane in that list, and then I always just feel bad with the Torch. So it's always like I got three movers that are basically going to win me the game. Their names Dagger, Vulture, and Torch, and I feel like I want Dagger first is my favorite, and then Vulture, and then Torch. So that's kind of what it feels like with this card. And yeah, man, I mean, she goes crazy, and I find a lot of the time, I think I was playing her wrong at first. I was always just playing her on 2 or just playing a fist on 2 and be like, okay, they're going to play a card. And then I play my Dagger. But I think you really do want to wait till later in the game with Dagger. And once you really see how the board develops, you could start just going absolutely crazy with this card. And just set up your bounces and set up your other stuff first. Set up your bounce lane, play a beast on 3, and then just Giga pop off with Dagger. And yeah, man, I absolutely love the change. I think it's insane that she gets +3 per card.
Yeah,
absurd scaling to me for a freaking 2 cost.
She was already
I love Dagger.
Quite playable when she only got +2 power for each enemy card.
Yeah.
Although the game has
she was
power
okay.
caps,
Yeah, with the 2.
I'm not ungrateful for the extra point per enemy card, but yeah, she was already great. That's a wonderful pick.
Thanks.
I love it.
Drive. Yeah.
I wish you would talk shit to us a little more, but
the thing is, I just love all these cards. I love all of them so much, except for Phoenix Force. I have no respect for Phoenix Force.
Yeah,
but that's just personal.
Yeah, that was probably my shit pick. Was the Phoenix Force that too fucked up?
No, it's all right. All right, Ben's number one.
All right,
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, there's only one card that it could possibly be. He's the reason for the season. Craven the Dingity Danged Hunter. I mean, is the character problematic? Sure. But the gameplay identity, when a card moves here, this gains +2 power. The day they change this is the day I have to think about the future of my Marvel Snap career. Oh my gosh. I've never been the kind of person to threaten to uninstall. I'm going to uninstall. Look at this screenshot of me hovering over uninstall. No, fuck that. Okay, I'm in it to win it, baby. I love Marvel Snap as long as it's going to go, probably, unless they change Craven. And then I'm packing my bags and moving away. Yo, he's just like, he's the last great small scaler standing. Sorry, Collector, you're a punk. But like,
Yes.
he's
Craven's
just
a lot bigger than Collector.
he's like, they murdered Angela, they murdered Elsa, they like, look, they massacred my boy.
Werewolf.
Werewolf, dude, he would have been on this list, but no.
Neutered.
But yeah, Craven, oh my gosh, my most played card of all time. Statistically speaking, there is a greater than 50% chance. What is the exact? Yeah, I'm playing Craven 51.44% of the time.
Wow.
That's great.
Wow.
Like, he's not literally the first card I put in every deck, but god damn it if he doesn't end up in more than half of them. He is, you can get him so huge. He works with every version of the move synergy. You know, like, you're not going to play a Kingpin deck without Craven in it. You're not going to play a Heimdall deck without Craven in it. Like, he's the guy. He's your go-to. He's the hardest of hard carries. Craven all Daven.
That's great.
I can't say enough about him. He's just he does exactly what it looks like he does, and he does it so fucking well. He's incredible. Yeah, truly.
He's fun.
Just
he's
what all the other move cards are for. Like, that's why Spider-Man made the list at number 3, is just because of the beauty of like swinging into the Craven lane for 9. Just he's great.
Yeah, he feels so nice to get on 2 and you just drop him down.
Yep. Feels safe.
He's great.
He's a warm blanket.
And not gameplay related, but once that damn Craven variant comes in the shop with the tiger when he's in like the tundra or whatever, or like he's in like the
Ron Swanson. Yeah, I got that one.
You do? Damn it!
Yeah.
I'm gonna how?
So I don't know. I just got it.
Damn it! I'm gonna pay 1,200 gold for that in a instantly.
It looks like Ron Swanson, right? That's the Ron Swanson one.
I don't know. He's just standing next to the tiger. The tiger.
I had
like,
not made that
looking
connection,
like off to the side.
but maybe I'll have to take another look.
I don't know.
Okay,
That's
maybe
great.
it's not the one I have. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, I'm looking. There's no tiger in this, but it looks sick though. The one that I have. I love this. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. I love it. Well, that's it. Top 5 move.
I feel like we disrespected Craven. Now I feel bad.
Oh no,
Yeah,
there were so many. You
we
had
should've
such
got him
great
on there.
cards on your list that I was so sad I didn't have on mine. Can I tell you about my 10 runners up?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Okay, actually, I picked 11 runners up. Whoops.
But wait, real quick before you go, Ben, I see why you use your whole spiel about the little scalers. I see why you like this card. You got Morbius. It's really just Morbius and Craven left, right?
Well, actually, there's one card who I added to my runners-up list after I saw Phoenix Force and realized we weren't just picking move cards, really. And that's Meek. Meek is the 11 of my 11 runners-up. And he's also a great little small scaler and a move guy and a discard guy. So the 10 that I wanted to put on my list but could not were Dagger, Iron Fist, Vulture, Heimdall, Cloak, Jeff, Werewolf by Night, Kingpin, Polaris, and Ghost Spider. So every one of those that you guys mentioned really like eased the burden on my mind, because I felt terrible excluding those cards because I love all these move cards so damn much. They're just great.
That's great. My honorable mention is Cyclops. Let's move, X-Men. When you type in move, he comes up.
He does, yep. So does Rhino.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A lot of anything that says remove, like, it's really bad. They did not filter at all. Like, I think Enchantress, like, look, Enchantress is on there. Look.
Yeah, Cyclops is the meme.
Remove ongoing effect.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's great.
Ridiculous.
I love it. All right.
I'm going to try to put Craven in more decks. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, kid. Let's go on.
No, I was going to say, let's move on. Let's get on to the AI art before we keep Ben here all night.
God.
I feel bad.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I've been dreading this
no
part.
Big deal. Just talk about it. Talk about what it is.
Okay, so we do AI art. Like I say, I always say, the robots are taking over. We may as well embrace it at this point. It's dark days, but or we could have some fun with it. That's what we do here on the Filthy Casual podcast. We have a good time. And what the kid does is he types in a phrase into the AI art generator. The phrase might be something like Darkhawk, or move, maybe, who knows? And AI, the robots, the overlords, they generate a usually beautiful image of whatever phrase he types in, and me and Ben are going to have to try to guess what it is. So each picture is going to come up, and then Ben, I don't know if you want to do this too, but we could take turns. We'll describe the image for the audio listeners, and then we got to try to guess what it is. So Ben, do you want to start out with a description on this one for the audio listeners?
Oh my god, this is so unsettling.
That's a spooky one.
I have been dreading this part of the show. As a fan, I knew this was coming, and
do you want me to do the description, Ben, and we just guess?
I can't even tell what it's supposed to be. There's a squat little figure with small legs and sort of an oversized torso and head. It looks like maybe someone thought it might be cute. It's like sort of robotic or mechanical. It's got weird little wires that go to nowhere like AI shit does.
Yeah.
It looks like maybe it's sort of Galactus themed. It looks, I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be, but it's very unsettling to look at, as many of these are. Oh gosh. Yeah.
This one's spooky. It's like a small mechanical Chucky from Chucky's Bride, or Child's Play. It's like he looks very menacing, like he's gonna about to start murdering people, and he's leaving a path of fire and destruction into the cityscape background there. So I wonder what the hell deck this is. What are you thinking for decks, Ben?
I'm looking for any sort of clue I can. I don't.
The first thing that popped into my head was Baby Thanos, but that's not a deck, so But it's it's kind of purple, and he's small, right? So maybe little mover, but he's not really moving,
he's
right?
Not really a mover. He does look like maybe he's supposed to be little. There is a hint of attempted cuteness, but the spooky cute. Oh, it's a little twisted, kind of thing. Maybe you might find it a hot topic or something. I don't know. I'm allowed to say that because I worked there for a little while.
That's great. He was in a recent spotlight.
Was
oh man, I don't really pick. I've been buying with tokens these days. So we know
he has MODOK teeth. He's got MODOK teeth. Is it MODOK related?
Oh
yes.
I noticed he's got that jacked up grill. Yeah, he needs dental.
So we know it's a MODOK discard.
Is it MODOK discard? Is it just that simple?
MODOK discard.
Oh, okay.
I literally typed in MODOK discard, and this is what came up, and I'm like, yes, immediately.
Oh my god, that's a tough one because the background threw me off. Like all the destruction.
Yeah. Well, that was.
It's only gonna get worse from here.
Yeah, these could get tough. Sometimes they're easy, sometimes they're brutal. Whoa. Okay, so we have one of those posters that you see kind of on Amazon for $15, and they're the stencil things you buy at Walmart. But this one's pretty nice. But I actually bought one time, so I'm not chirping them. I bought one of a dog one time, but it's an all red background. It's a woman. Looks like she got no clothes on, right? And she's kind of sweating. She's got some sort of perspiration going on here. Yeah. She's got the Super Snap Bros shades on, so shout out to her for that. She came prepared for the podcast, and but her whole figure is dark and clearly meant to kind of contrast with the background of a fierce red, I would say, in your face. And wow, yeah, I wonder what deck this is. What the hell? It doesn't look like a Marvel Snap card to me.
Yeah.
Don't focus on the red.
All right, I'm saying I'm trying to think what character is female character with sunglasses.
None. That has nothing to do with it.
Do sunglasses have anything to do with it?
No, neither does the female.
Oh, what?
Wow.
So the whole picture has nothing to do with it. Okay, so some aspect of this picture is like what the deck is, and it's not that it's a female wearing sunglasses with
And
red
it's not
everywhere.
about the red.
No, it's a deck and slash or card. Look at her
Okay,
skin.
I have
Her
a guess.
skin.
I have a guess. I have a guess.
Yeah.
Mr. Negative.
Done. Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Wow. Okay.
She's a negative, right?
I guess.
Yeah, it just came. I'm like, okay, the contrast. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Negative. Okay, I even said the contrast in the description. Yeah, I should have known.
I had to make this one a little bit harder because we've had Mr. Negative a few times on these, so I had to have a different type of negative.
Yeah, the last Mr. Negative one, the guy actually looked like Mr. Negative, but yeah, this is totally different. Yeah,
That's great.
that was cool. Cool art though. Yeah, the art's
All right,
nice, man.
here's a deck. All right.
Well, another guy that looks like Mr. Negative.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, do you want to describe this one for the audio listener?
All right. So there's a gentleman centered with a white suit. Maybe he's leaning over a thing. It's, one of those unclear objects that AI likes that might be, is it computery? Is it a piece of technology he's leaning on? I don't know. Maybe it's whatever. Point is, he's got a symmetrical setup of two figures behind him on his left and on his right. It looks to me like one of them is maybe supposed to be like, man, they are shadowy figures, that's for dang sure. Also, we've got some nonsense letters up top.
Those mean nothing, by the way.
Okay.
Well,
he's giving me
have an
kind
idea,
of like
Ben, but
90s PC game vibes. Like he looks like he's either
Yes.
Hitman or Duke Nukem or Hitman Duke Nukem.
That's great.
It looks like maybe Red Skull's standing behind him. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I kind of have a deck idea, Ben, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna run it by
if you have
so.
good guesses, I'm just describing things because I don't know what to guess yet.
I'm thinking it might be a deck that or a card that you mentioned earlier. It's a Little Movers card, right? I think I could be wrong, but when you Juggernaut into him, it's pretty nice.
Oh, so you think it's a Kingpin thing because he is wearing a white
I think
suit.
it's just King. Oh, it's not Kingpin. Okay, my guess was Kingpin, so it's not that. All right, well, swing and a miss for no big deal. What do you think, Ben?
Let's see. It's
Because he just kind of looks like a mob boss to me. Like,
yeah,
It's Mr. Negative. It's Mr.
It's
Negative.
still
Oh,
Mr.
God.
Negative.
So this is Mr. Negative, but you got to guess the deck.
Oh,
It's a specific type of negative deck.
it's not Negative Surfer. It's not.
No.
Is it?
He's got a bunch of people around him. A commune, if you will.
I don't know.
Maybe a tribe of people around him.
I don't know.
Hella Enjoyer popularized this deck.
Is it so? I thought it was called like Jane Negative. Was that called?
Negative Tribunal.
Oh, okay. Negative. Okay, that makes all the sense in the world, actually. Okay.
I actually never would have got that.
No,
actually.
I also never would have gotten that either.
No, it's not your fault. I'm just an idiot. It's not your fault.
Yeah, I spend
for some reason that never even remotely crossed my mind.
I just never
It's
think
like
about
one of those
tribunal.
No, me either. It's like one of the things. Like once you hear it, you're like, all right, yeah, but like
But
to guess it, it's tough, man.
That explains why there is like a number of figures standing in judgment or whatever. Like
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, right when we first saw it, I'm like, oh, another one looks like Mr. Negative. I didn't think there'd be two in a row. It's tricky. you got me fooled. Okay, so we have what looks like a lizard, or like a dragon. Pretty badass. It's a portrait of said dragon, and he's staring directly into the camera with his menacing bright red eyes, and there's a fire in the background. Looks like an explosion, actually. Looks like a nuke almost going off in the background, but this is a cool guy, and he doesn't look at explosions. So what do you think we're dealing with here, Ben?
Is it some kind of destroy deck? I'm trying to think like what kind of keyword would like give you like a fiery dragon
No destroy.
thing. What kinds of
He could be in hell.
Oh,
That'll
is it
be my
Hella?
guess. Nope.
Is it?
My first impression of what he was, I thought he was Lizard at first, but it's probably not Lizard. That's
That's
like
on the right track.
Yeah. Well, there's no deck that's like Lizard deck, you know. So,
Yeah. Is it like some kind
Lizard
of
in
like
Hell? Okay,
a
let me
nihilist
think
or
for a second.
something? I don't.
No. Who runs Hell?
I mean,
Who's like the guy in Hell, the main guy?
is it Devil
Satan?
Dinosaur?
Yes, Devil
Nice.
Dinosaur, and then Devil Dinosaur in a specific deck. Look at the horns mainly on the on this dinosaur.
Is it Dino Loki?
Yes, it's nailed it.
Oh man, we're struggling today.
Yeah, we are.
I'm sorry, I picked harder ones. I'm sorry. Hey, you got that. That was good. That was good.
Yeah. Hey, Ben. Shout out to Ben. Got there, man. You know, kid with a little bit of guidance, but even Ben, you got there. I couldn't have got there.
Okay,
Oh, cool.
I'm just gonna tell you about this one because
Okay.
I looked on Untapped for different deck types, and I've never heard of this deck type in my life. So I'm just gonna tell you about this. It's
Okay.
called Power Party.
What the?
There is in the B tier meta on Untapped. There's an archetype called Power Party.
What's in it?
Right? And it's like Hood, Korg, Nico, Armor, Scarlet Witch, Cosmo, Rockslide, Cull Obsidian, Sentry, Darkhawk, Annihilus, and Scar. Kind of like, and then there's like Atuma can be in there, Zero can be in there.
Kind of like
Almost
Big Dumb Idiots with
Big
some
Dumb
smaller
Idiots,
stuff. Yeah.
But they have it in Untapped as Power Party, and I've never seen that archetype before in Untapped or
Power
heard
Party.
of anyone ever fucking say Power Party.
We were not going to
And
guess
so I'm
that.
like, I gotta just put it in there. Here's Power Party. So, anyways, sorry,
I'm
I
happy
just
you
want.
told us. I never.
I just
would've
wanted to
got
say that. 'Cause that was great. All right. This one's kind of cool. I like this one. Go for it. No big deal. Describe it.
Okay, so it looks like. I mean, this looks like a space tribunal, right? I mean, you know, it looks like where the tribunal meets. It's a spaceship. It looks like a pretty fancy spaceship. It's flying over the
Yes.
ocean. It looks like. And it's like a meeting spot. Actually, it looks like a poker table almost, where everybody's supposed to sit down here. But I'm sure this spaceship has all kinds of amenities if you judge by the massive one in the background. So definitely looks like something futuristic. Big spaceship flying over the ocean.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what we're looking at here.
You've said all the right things.
I hate that helicarrier is popping into my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm looking at the background.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
got
don't
that part of it.
What do you think, Ben? There's only one deck with helicarrier, right? It's got to be Modoc helicarrier discard, right?
Yeah. What else is there? I don't know. Are we in the neighborhood?
Yep.
Like it's
That's it.
helicarrier discard?
Helicarrier discard. Helicarrier with cards.
Oh, okay.
There's cards on the table.
Oh, cards. Okay, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
makes
discard with helicarrier.
all right.
Oh, discard. Okay, yeah, cards. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Okay. Hey, we got it. Hey, we take those.
Oh dear.
I think this one's a little bit tough.
Some kind of Zabu deck.
It's not Zabu, but it is a cat.
So for audio listeners, this is a very patriotic cat.
There it is.
Yeah, it's probably some kind of patriot deck, but I think there's gonna be something else to it, right? It's dressed up in all American gear.
Patriot Zoo. Is that a thing?
Close, but no. And this is another like weird archetype on Untapped that I've never really heard of, but I figured I'd throw it in there because
It's
All right. Well, let's just take your answer, combine it with mine. Let's go Zabu Patriot.
it's not Zabu. It's another cat.
Oh shit. Oh, is it Panther Patriot?
No, a one drop.
Bast Patriot.
Yes, Bast Patriot.
Oh, that's Bast. I couldn't even tell that's Bast.
Well, I mean, AI is not great.
Oh man,
No,
I don't know the lore.
I mean, they're awesome. They're awesome. AI is great. If AI is listening, AI is amazing.
Yeah,
AI, we love you. We're sorry.
forever.
Please don't control our brains.
I've never seen a Bast Patriot out in the wild, but yeah, I thought it was kind of funny to include. All right, we'll go to the next one. Oh, this is great.
Okay.
It's good on Mysterio, I guess, right? If you bast your Mysterio and then you buff it with the Patriot, then
Yeah.
something.
Black Swan something.
Yeah.
Something Black Swan.
Definitely it's Black Swan something. I love how AI did this. I thought this image was fucking hilarious, man.
So we got a shirtless Cristiano Ronaldo looking figure wrapped around in feathers, but wrapped around by two different swans. I almost want to say Chadiators because the guy looks like a Chad, but that's probably not just a deck.
That's very close.
Yeah.
That's very close. It's another Chad in the game, but not the Chadiator.
So something with Black Swan. So probably Black Swan Thanos? No. Damn.
Who's probably like the chattiest Chad in the game?
Obsidian?
No. Recently got buffed. One of the worst cards in the game.
I was going to say Kang, but yeah, no. Okay.
Adam Warlock?
No. 3-drop.
Adam didn't get
Vulture?
buffed. What are you talking about?
No.
Who's the 3-drop that got buffed?
He's not weak.
Strong Guy.
Yeah.
Black Swan Strong Guy.
Oh,
There's a Black Swan strong guy. Yeah, that's a list on the Untapped.
All right.
all right,
It's
makes
kinda
sense.
like-
You dump your
kinda like-
hands.
I played that for a weekend mission. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Dracula dump kind of thing.
Yep.
But strong guy's in it, and Black Swan.
Mhm.
And Black Swan was too easy just to put Black Swan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dexter was playing that, I think.
Yeah.
When Swan first came out.
And this is the last one.
So I mean, looks like a Quinjet to me.
Yep, it is a
Is
jet.
it
I'll say
Jet
that.
Phoenix Force?
Yes.
Yeah,
Fucking nailed it, Ben.
nailed it, Ben. Good shit. There we
I
go.
love it. Oh
Had to
man,
stick the
all right,
landing.
those are fun. Those are great. Oh, thanks for putting up with us. I mean, that's almost 2 hours now. I mean, that's basically it. We got nothing more to talk about here. Ben, I want to say thanks so much,
Oh,
man.
thanks for having me.
coming
It was
on.
a blast. I would do it
Yeah,
again
it was
anytime.
You're the man, Ben.
Have me
Let's go.
back, please.
Dude, come back anytime. Message us.
No,
We'll
you
set up
message
for
me.
sure.
You message me.
I'm so bad at that. No big deal. Yeah, fine. We'll do it. And
We'll do it. I mean, Nerf Herder came back, Gunny T came back. Eventually we're gonna get Ben back on here. So it's all
exactly.
good.
And especially because you adhere to the dress code, you wore glasses the entire time.
Yeah, you made it.
That's good.
You made it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I love it. But yeah. Anything else you got to say to the people?
I hope you're having a lot of fun playing Marvel Snap, the game we all love. I hope you're kind to yourselves and your opponents. I hope you're trying new things, exploring your self-expression through deck building, and just like having a great time, thinking cool thoughts. Yeah, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.
Heck yeah. No big deal. What do you got to say to the people? Close this out, dude.
Love that message from Ben. Yeah, man, just have a great time. Play wild shit and just do crazy stuff. If you want to play Arnhem Nola with Pixie, like, do it up. Ben plays wild stuff. He'll put Surfer and Move put together in one list, and everyone's just like, well, I just want to play Surfer. I just want to play Move. Ben's like, no. Listen, bro. A lot of these cards are 3, and we're gonna rock and roll here. And so give him a follow on Twitter. He's a great Twitter follow. Was Benjamin_roller,
That's
right?
correct.
Yeah, phenomenal Twitter follow, and check out his match on Snap Judgment League on his YouTube channel. And shout out to everybody, man. Have a good time. It's a fun meta right now. All kinds of stuff you could play, and you don't have to buy like Pixie, honestly. So you could save the 6K if you want. Mockingbird's probably gonna be broken as shit.
Yeah, she
so,
is.
We'll get to that on the next pod.
We're entering the
I hope
Squirrel
everybody has
Girl
a good
meta,
night.
I hope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, one thing about Ben is that he's the first person to come on this podcast and mention Sebastian Shaw, other than us when he came out on the season pass. So, props, dude. Props. I love it.
I like Shaw, man. Shaw's fun. He's
great.
Oh, why are you hating on Shaw? Poor guy.
I mean, I play him, but I don't
Peace.
like him.
Yeah. All right. Peace out.